My name is Jonathon Puleo. I'm 17 years old from Brantford, Connecticut, and I'm the driver of the number 7 Mr. Rooter SK Modified. I started my racing career when I was 5 at the Waterford Speedway, where I raced the SXR division. Then I moved up to the Bandoleros about 3 years later, raced them for a few years, and then moved up to Stafford in the Wild Thing Kart Junior Outlaw division, where I kind of fell in love with the open wheels. Ran those for a few years and then got the opportunity to drive a legend car on the road course and on the oval all over the Northeast. And then 2018 I moved up to the SK Lights at the Waterford Speedway. And then 2019 made the jump to Stafford. Raced the SK Lights there 2019, 2020, and then making the move up to the SK Modifieds this year. In the shop's usually just me and my dad. We're here in the shop every night together, at the racetrack together all the time. Just definitely something I wouldn't trade for the world. You know, we do it together.
I started racing in the late 90s. I started racing in the street stock division at the Waterford Speedway. Ran there for a couple years, went to Thompson. Took some time off from racing, then eventually worked my way back to the Speedway in 2009. I wanted to get away from Thompson and go to Waterford at the time because that was the first year that they were actually allowing kids in the pits. And by then, JP was about 5 years old.
My first time in 2009 to help my dad. We actually won that night. So it was really cool, you know, it's just something me and him done together since then. It's definitely something I wouldn't trade for the world, you know, we do it together. We just know each other so well. It's just something we always done together and something I look to do together for a long time. My car owner, Vinny, he's a close friend of ours. You know, he's always been there for me, my dad, and outside of being a car owner, he's also a really close friend. We consider him family. We're just one big family. This you know, Mr. Rooter team, we just do it all together, and he brought us all together. So it's really cool to have a relationship like that with your car owner. Last year was my third full season in the SK Lights, my second full season at Stafford. The last race in the SK Lights I won, and we had a really good year. We won the opener, won the closer, and as soon as the off season hit, we kind of just had a meeting as a team and got the support from my car owner Vinny Beadle, who said, you know, if you want to move up to the SKs, we can make that happen. The competition in the SKs at Stafford is definitely the best in the country, in my opinion. You know, you have guys like Keith and Todd and Chase and guys like that who have so much experience and been at it for a while, and then you know you have some younger guys that are moving up, and just people that been around the track and been around the open wheels for a long time. So it's a wide range of drivers, a lot of different age ranges, and definitely some really hard competition. On my team, we have my spotter Steve, who the eyes in the sky. We have Zach, a young kid that came aboard this year. He races go-karts on Monday nights and really big help. We have Tyler, who's been with me for a while, kind of like my other brother. My godfather Steve, who is like the second crew chief behind my dad. My uncle Carl, who just a crazy uncle in the pits. Just can't do without him. Then we have a new addition to our team, Eric, who came on board this year, and just really happy to have him along as well.
Ed, you might take a couple stickers today, or are we going out like Richie Evans tires today?
The Richie Evans tires is just a joke we all kind of had for a while. Back when I moved up to the SK Lights, I had a set of tires that were my dad's when he ran SKs that I used. And then I used them every year in the first practice of the season. And then last year, we actually had a track rental when I moved up to the SKs, and I still actually had those tires and we used them again. It's just kind of a joke me, my dad, and my friend Andrew Moeller always had, basically saying we took him off of Richie Evans' car when he raced.
I'm just curious.
The race was going good too. We started 22nd. We made our way up close to the top 10. We were gaining on some guys. We were just bunched up. I remember I was on the bottom. We went into turn 1. I was behind the 31. And he swerved down last minute, and the next thing I knew, the 92 was there spun, and my left front made contact with his left front, and just once those tires hit each other, the car just takes off and goes with it.
I kind of saw it unfold as it was happening. As a racer, you see one car go one way, you see another car go another way, and the straightaway's getting clogged up, and I just kind of knew that he was going to be in it, and there was really no avoiding it. Unfortunately, from the infield, obviously there's nothing you can do. As soon as he stopped the car, I got on the radio and asked him if he was okay, and there was no answer. But then I looked over and I saw him moving around, so I felt a little bit better about that.
I just felt a pain in my kind of higher back. Didn't know how bad it really was.
You okay? What's up?
My back.
What?
Help me, help me.
What's up? What's the matter?
My back.
Your back? All right, stay still.
The safety crew obviously came right over. I told the guy I had a pain in my back, and when you have an injury like that, they usually don't want you to move, so they told me just to sit in the seat, and then I saw the guy call for him to cut the cage. So as soon as I heard he wanted to cut the cage, I kind of just flung myself out because I didn't want to have to throw the car away.
Once he climbed out of the car, it was pretty obvious that he was hurting.
I was standing there. I just told the guy I just need to sit down for a minute. You know, just my back really hurts right now, and they didn't want me to get back up just because I still had pain in my back. So they put me in the stretcher and took me in the ambulance and evaluated me. And
obviously wanted to jump out there and run out there and make sure he was okay, and the officials wouldn't let me because I kind of needed to stay out of the way at that point. I was standing with Vinny. He had his hand on my shoulder, and he knew that I was pretty devastated at that point. Being, several yards away from your son while he's in pain and not being able to get out there, that's a whole nother story. That's very difficult, and that's something that I wouldn't wish on any father. So then Tommy Fox went and checked out the scene, and he came and got me, and he brought me out. He told me it was okay, and he took me to JP at that point.
JP, Jonathon Puleo, apparently in the process of the situation that took place, they believe that he might have injured himself.
Once I arrived on the scene, he was ready on a stretcher with a neck brace on, and it's just devastating to see. I mean, and at that point, you just start wondering, obviously I created this, I got him in racing in the first place, and it's just weird because not a whole lot of time went by, but a million thoughts went through my head. The gentleman, I never got his name, that was on the ambulance was really good. He took good care of JP, and at that time, I was still kind of in shock myself, hoping that he was okay. And we didn't even get out of the parking lot yet, and JP wanted to see race monitor, and he wanted to know who was where and what laps they were turning and all that stuff. And at that point, I said, well, all right, JP's okay.
Track crew did a great job. They kept me calm. That was the main thing. I was just kind of wigging out. I didn't know how bad my injury was.
When we first get to the hospital, the hospital was told that, there was a 17-year-old that was involved in a car accident going, 90 to 100 miles an hour. So obviously they thought, they didn't realize that it was a race car and he was strapped in with a helmet and all that other stuff. So I think they were expecting something a little bit worse. So there was probably a swarm of about 15 people on him at one time that they were just like on top of him. And you hear them yelling, move this, check that. They're checking all the stuff on him, and it's just like, holy cow, it's like, this is serious.
They took a bunch of x-rays on my back in all different positions just to see if I had any internal damage or anything. And the doctor came in and was like, your injury's not that bad, your back's just banged up. We wouldn't advise you racing this week, but just see how you feel, take it easy, and we'll go from there.
He's only 17 years old, And so I just kind of tried to explain to him that, look, I know this really stinks and it kind of puts a wrench in the works here for what you had planned. I even spoke to Vinny about it, and Vinny was on board 100%, that obviously we needed to take some time off and make sure he healed up.
Knowing I couldn't go racing was definitely tough because we got this new car this off season. I just had a lot of hype going in this year, and as soon as I was told I couldn't race, I knew the season was kind of out the window points-wise, and even Rookie of the Year-wise was going to be a struggle. So it definitely took the wind out of my sails.
He has plenty of years ahead of him to go after wins and points and all that other stuff. At this point, I just figured it was more important to get him healthy.
The last 2 weeks have kind of been a roller coaster. We've been down here in the shop and keeping my spirits up a little bit, getting the car fixed. The car got banged up really bad. We didn't think it was too bad at first, but we stripped the car down to nothing. Right after that Sunday, all the front suspension was pretty much bent, so it basically needed a front clip and all the stuff in the front. So when we fixed it, it's back to pretty much a brand new car again. Everything went together a lot sooner than we thought. My back injury healed a lot faster than we thought, and we got the car back and snapped it back together, and then it was just a matter of time before I could return.
The night before we loaded the car, I noticed that one of the brake line fittings was kind of facing the wrong direction. So before the car went in the trailer, I loosened it up and spun it around.
Just flipped it on the bottom side so it wouldn't kink, and it put air in the brake lines, and we never bled the brakes again.
Yo! Man!
I pushed the brake pedal down when I tightened my seatbelts, and I noticed it went to the floor.
I have no brake pedal at all. I had to loosen up that line.
He got in the car for practice, and he was putting his seatbelts on, and he always steps on the brake pedal and he puts his seatbelt on, and it went to the floor.
I panicked a little bit, and my dad stayed calm, and we just bled the brakes before practice, and they were perfect after that.
Pump it. Down.
I'm not the most religious person. I have my beliefs, and I do say a prayer for him every time he gets in the car and before the restarts and stuff. I'm sure a lot of dads and a lot of family members do that. I also, try to look for some guidance from my father, obviously. He had to watch me go through it, and he was JP's biggest fan. So I try to keep him in the loop of what's going on during the race, as crazy as that sounds. But it kind of calms me, because my dad always had that way about him of calming me. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of emotion and a whole bunch of stuff going on while he's on the racetrack.
Pace car's going, let's be ready. Green, go. Inside. Keep holding that top. Inside.
We started 20th for the feature. I was just kind of riding around on the top and then the bottom. The lanes were changing really fast. I passed a couple cars and found my way kind of up towards the top guys.
Everybody keep moving, still there. Get you down behind him if we hit the bottom. Inside. Inside, still there. Squeeze, clear. 24, gotcha. Hopefully you can roll.
He got into that spin, and he had contact with a couple other cars.
You okay?
When I went spinning, I knew I didn't hit the wall. I got the car locked down quick enough, and I saw a bunch of cars kind of pile in, but none of them really hit me.
Bring it in so we can take a look at it, JP. pit roll, bud.
I didn't think I had any severe damage, anything that could really cost me the race.
The incident happened right in front of pit road, so he was right there, and I knew he had to go to the back anyway. So I just told him to just bring it in, and I just wanted to take a quick look at the car, make sure nothing was touching, no tire rubs or anything like that, or didn't look like anything was, you know, going to put him in danger.
Coming to pit road, you guys, use the square. Swing it over to second one, there you go. Oh, we look good. We got a little wrinkle in the corner panel, but we're good. Good. Outside. Clear.
I kind of thought it was a good thing, to be honest. Once I realized that the car was okay, it's kind of good to get that, you know, it's like a hockey player, you know, first coming back from an injury and he gets checked into the boards and he skates away from it kind of thing.
The rest of the race went good. Ended up finishing 8th and able to pass some more cars, get some more experience. And after the opener, we finally got a finish. So that was a huge confidence booster as a team for all of us.
Second flag, bud. That's the way to come back. Nice and strong. Great job, brother. Great job. Good job, guys. That was awesome. JP, you're the man.
Well, Vinny and I have a very interesting relationship. Obviously, he's our car owner. We always refer to him as the car owner. But he's more of like a family member, and we've stuck with each other through a lot of tough times.
How was he happy? Yeah, he said he got very happy. We needed to get a full race in the car to see what it's going to do. I'll take it.
Last to 10th to 8th.
Where's your wallet? That'll take you real. Yeah, that's your wallet. He was good tonight.
That's pretty good.
The very first race that Vinny spent with me when I was driving, his very first experience was the first lap of the heat race. I got stuffed in the wall and I destroyed the race car. So, and I was afraid that I was going to kind of scare Vinny off. It was his first experience with us. But he came to me and he said, look, you know, I'm going to stand behind you and I believe in you guys and we're going to fix it and we're going to come back and we're going to be better than ever. And we went on to win the championship that year. We won a lot of races and we had a great time doing it. So it's kind of interesting, not that I would want it to happen, but JP's first race to Sherry Rex, and he kind of had the same approach. And he's like, look, you know, whatever time JP needs to heal, we're going to take it. Whatever the car needs, we're going to get it and we're going to fix it and we're going to come back and, you know, we're going to make it happen. And, you know, that's kind of what we did, you know. So, you know, I think some of that was we kind of reminisced about that, and some of it was kind of relief that we got that first race under our belt. And, you know, Vinny is good like that. He's not your typical car owner. He wants us to work hard and do our best and just try to improve on it and again, have a good time doing it. So that takes a lot of pressure off.
This offseason, my car owner, Vinny's been talking a lot about me and my dad racing against each other, so I like to hope there's some potential there, but we'll see how it goes.
The potential for JP and I having a race together actually has to happen. It was a promise that, you know, Vinny had me make to him before we got started during the offseason. It's something that he really wants to do. Some aspects I want it to happen because it would be cool to be on the racetrack with my son. But it's also going to be very difficult because I'm always so in tune and so intense about what he's doing out there. To have him out there and not be able to be paying attention to what he's doing, probably because he's going to be behind me, makes things pretty difficult.
How do you think that would go? You were racing side by side with him.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping that we're not near each other. I think he should go outside when I answer this one, and I should go outside and he answers this one.
Alright, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, that's good.
Because I'm thinking about smashing him.